Hello again, Broncos country.
Really excited to chop up some Broncos with you all this week.
Bourbon, Broncos, and no BS.
Orange
It is that time, your favorite time of the week. We're not for the Raiders, Chargers, or Chiefs. So grab your brews and your fantasy league. We got that blue and orange blood that you bleed. Like Lindsay, Sutton, and Judy. We are that Mile High Broncos country.
Orange Weekly, fans, brews, and Broncos news. What is up, Broncos country? How you all doing tonight? We are here for another episode of Bourbon, Broncos No BS. Grab that drink, guys. We have some good things to talk about tonight, obviously, after the Broncos beat the Panthers again. Panthers just can't seem to find a way to beat us, and I'm okay with that. So, hey, everyone, hit that share button for us. Hit the like button. Glad you're here. Post your comments, post your questions. We are here to talk with you, not at you, like maybe some of those lame, really big shows and stuff. So, David and Ayla, how you all doing tonight?
Fantastic.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, really so good. Yeah, I think we're one of the really big shows, so I'm not really sure.
We
what
are
you're
not-
talking
Yeah, I
about.
don't know what you're
No.
talking about,
We're
Kevin.
a
Like, really
good
big.
show. We're a
Get
good
outta
show, but we actually interact with people. We don't just sit here and think that
I
people
know.
actually give a crap about who we are. Anyway, Matt, you're here as well, good sir.
I'm sorry.
Wearing your orange as usual. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You guys are
Rob!
What's up,
Rob?
Rob?
I love how Rob is always like, boom,
Up,
it's
fam.
go time. Let's do it. I love it.
Time for the show to start now.
Time for the show to hopefully he has a drink too. Robert, if you don't have your drink, then kind of have to give up on you, man. Okay, well, let's just get into it. Obviously I got Team Puffball here represented. Boom.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. Everybody's in a knit cap of some sort. That's,
Exactly. It's close
yeah.
enough.
Because it's freaking freezing, man.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not warm. It's not warm out. That's for sure.
Okay, let's talk about some Broncos, and we'll start. David, let's start with you. Broncos win, and how you feeling, man?
Yeah, I'll tell you. I was thinking about this while the intro was playing. We're going to have to put some of the highlights from this game into next year's intro. There's going to be. I feel like from the
Good
2020
idea.
season, it's going to be mostly Panthers games highlights. Because man, we had a great game for the most part. Offensively, really, really efficient. Not only the wow plays were there for Drew Lock, but the taking what the defense was giving him was there. The checking progressions, the reading of the defense and what he's supposed to be doing pre-snap was there. His eyes were in the right place, manipulating defenders out of position. He was doing kind of all of the things that when you go back to the Dolphins game, and I know the Chiefs game, he threw the 2 picks, but he also had some decent plays in that Chiefs game as well. So it's really been much more of a mixed bag than all bad, which, when he came back from the injury, certainly I think we can just say he bottomed out when he threw those 4 picks. And it was all bad at that point. Now it's a little bit more nuanced, a little bit, we've seen him start to do things better. Now he's doing a lot of things better. And if he can continue to do those things
progression,
well,
which every fan has been talking about. Like,
Absolutely.
he is making progress, which everybody should just shut up now, because that's what they've wanted to see. And here it is. He's getting better every game. So
yeah,
that's not going to
can every fire all of them, get rid of them fan just shut up now and realize that it is a little bit better?
It doesn't matter.
They ran a couple screenplays. Didn't we talk about that?
Yeah,
it was
we did.
just like, can this happen? And it did. Like
It doesn't matter, to be honest with you. Drew Lock could play that same way for the rest of the season, and they'd still be people going, "Oh, well, we could go out and get Trevor Lawrence, but Drew Lock screwed that up because he played too well or something." I don't know.
Well, he's going to have to play great this weekend.
It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, at the start of next season, Drew Lock will be the Broncos quarterback, and the coaching staff and general manager are all going to be the same. So if people don't like it, that's fine. They don't have to like it. It's going to be there anyway.
So, I know, but they'll just find something to bitch about because that seems to be the theme of the year.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do?
Eduardo here from California. How you doing, man? Thinking Broncos could go 8-8. I mean,
from Santa Clara. I love it.
Yeah, if we can get through this next game, then we got the Chargers and the Raiders, both very beatable teams. I wish Jared was here to walk us through all the things that need to happen for the Broncos to make a playoff.
A lot.
I think at this point,
but it is possible.
Yeah, I think at this point, you would have to be a lot, and we would be relying on other teams too. The Ravens, the Browns, the Dolphins, and the Raiders are also, the Pats are there. All, the three teams I mentioned first are all at least 2 games ahead of the Broncos right now, and all of them are vying for the last wild card right now.
At this point, it's only the Dolphins who are at risk of losing that spot, I would say.
Yeah.
Because the Broncos finished 8-8. Like the Colts and the Browns and the Titans, all and then the rest of the teams all have above 9 wins, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
The Dolphins would have to lose their last 3, and then the Broncos would have to win their next 3. And we did beat the Dolphins, so I think there's a tiebreaker there. But a lot needs to happen. I wouldn't hold my breath, but I mean,
if this was the NFC,
we're not eliminated.
Yeah. If this was the NFC, we'd have a little bit of a different conversation on our hands. But the AFC is really, really strong this year. It would be really tough at 8-8.
What I really liked from this last game, KJ Hamler had 2 catches for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Finally showing why we drafted him for that deep threat. Run down the field, catch the bomb, and run it in for the.
And he's been, I think, one of the biggest beneficiaries of this, miniature lock growth spurt we've seen over the past couple of games.
They have a connection.
Yeah, he's really been coming on, and now if Locke can get that stroke on that deep ball a little bit more consistently, like he did in this last game, that's going to be a much more regular connection.
Well, because if Judy and him had the chemistry that even though he's thrown kind of rarity to him, it's like the hands aren't there either. Like you're a receiver, dude. Like that's what you're there for. And we talked you up since the beginning of the season. And I think chemistry is the difference when it comes to that from an outsider perspective, at least.
I think it was a deep comeback route to Tim Patrick. I don't know. You guys probably saw the replay though. The ball got to Patrick, but Jerry Jeudy had like 5 guys. Literally 5 dudes in coverage on him. And it was obviously a busted coverage. There's no way the coach said 5 guys on Jeudy, but just having that kind of respect for your rookie receiver in that backfield, that's so.
Well, they're definitely, because he's been talked about so much, and so what are they supposed to do? They cover the guy that people talk about, and Jeudy has been this big name. When we picked him up, it was the talk of the town. It still is, and for good reason, because the kid's talented. But between a quarterback and a receiver, there has to be that kind of juju gel, and Hamler and him seem to have it a little bit more.
I tell you, it's probably because of the scheme fit. Locke is, he's got a strong arm. He's a bit like a, what do you call him? Like a gunslinger, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when you have that, hold on, I'm pouring my tea here. So when you have that gunslinger, and then you have receivers that aren't necessarily deep threats, like KJ Hamler is the only receiver on the entire squad that can take the top off of defense, right? Judy's a route runner. He'll work 20 and under, we'll say, and Tim Patrick, same kind of thing. And Cortland Sutton could do a little bit of everything. So, Hamler's really the only one that fits with Locke's full talent. So, it just kind of makes me think was Jeudy really the guy to be drafted at that spot?
But Tim Patrick, has been showing up. That has been working as well.
Well, and experience. So I'm assuming that that has a role to play. But I agree with you. There needs to be some chemistry there that just hasn't developed.
And I'm going to say for Jeudy and Locke, it's going to come. I think they're also
I think it'll come
it out.
too.
And
they gotta like each other,
But once it does, Jeudy is ridiculous already. I mean, absolutely absurd what he can do, whether he's getting the football or not. The attention he grabs is just one of the ways he does it. His route running is absurd. I know he's not the blazing fastest guy on the offense, but I don't think his speed is anything to sneeze at. And when he can do what he can do just with his feet and the way he can manipulate a defender, it's going to come with luck. Like that's going to happen.
And then he's got to catch the ball when it's thrown to him, even if it's 2 times a game or 20 times a game. The guy's got to catch the ball.
I'll tell you, he did a really impressive job adjusting to that deep ball that he caught. It was, he had to kind of turn his body around and adjust how he was making that catch.
And that's when his talent comes into it.
Right. That body control is kind of an underrated thing. Not a lot of receivers can do that. It's kind of a sneaky, hard, made it look easy, but it's not easy.
I'd say too, he threw it to 8 different players. Yeah. 8 players caught the ball this week, which is outstanding, man. Tight ends, running backs, and receivers. That's what also needs to happen with Shermer's offense. If it's going to continue to be successful, the ball has to get spread around. And then once you do that, you start to identify who has that, advantage, right, with the matchups, and then you start to exploit it, which I think KJ Hamler was that guy. And I think he might be this guy moving, for the next couple weeks. But yeah, it was impressive, but I agree. Jerry and Drew need to really kind of they should go on a camping trip together. Get in the woods, bond, become good friends. That's what happens.
Totally.
Well,
send some tweets together.
That's where Brett is spot on here. The offense is potent, seriously dangerous if Drew continues to use his talents around him. We're seeing him use those talents. I mean, he played a smart game like you guys were talking about earlier. He was making his reads. He was spreading the ball around. And when you add, a full healthy team with Cortland Sutton back in the mix and you give him time to gel and bond, yeah, I think he's completely right. This team is seriously potent and dangerous. This is an offense that maybe isn't going to be top 5, but if we're, top third of the league, I mean, this is something that teams are going to look at this and say, man, between that offense and definitely that defense, this is not going to be a walk in the park by any means whatsoever.
Yeah. And it's, going to having a full off season altogether is going to be so important for them. Having Noah Fant consistently able to perform too, because we saw, I think they have such different skill sets, but Sanders, I think, is a decent combination. Yeah, I mean, it's
Sanders has something to him though that's just team guy.
He's got that veteran savvy to him.
He's veteran savvy. He's super likable, and he's just the nice guy who just wants to win all the time. And Judy's got a little bit of ego that he's got to drop at the door. I mean, all of them start learning after a while. You got to drop it. All the really good ones with the ego at the beginning of their rookie-ness, they end up dropping it and they become better. It's you can't just be. I don't know. You got to drop it.
I'm not worried about Judy. Coming from Alabama and from that kind of rigid coaching, I think he knows how to take coaching.
Well, and rigid winning. That's all they do in Alabama. And he's got that. That's the ego that got to win. But
sure,
Yeah,
I think he's a pretty mature guy, all things considered. I really don't have a problem. I really don't think he's going to have a problem growing into his role.
Look at his social media. He's a little bit egotistical.
I get it.
What about that post-game podcast? Was it it's up there?
Yeah.
Which I'm glad he brought it up because everyone, you should make sure you check out the post-game and pre-game podcasts. Maybe in that order. I don't know. Start with the post-game because it's a little more fun. But definitely check us out. iTunes, Spotify, Google Play. And Jared here.
Hey,
Jared, we were waiting for you. Jared, we were waiting for you to log in.
My computer and internet. Look, I live in the middle of the desert. I don't know what to tell you. I have all the excuses in the world.
Right. We were here waiting for you. You have a ton of excuses, and that's just what you're going to get from an insurance company who doesn't give a crap about you. Okay. So if you want an insurance company that's more reliable than Jared was demonstrating here, that doesn't give you all those excuses, reach out to Centennial State Insurance Agency. They actually care about you. They will spend time to get to know you and explain to you what your insurance actually means, what you're getting provided. And they have the honesty and integrity to tell you that, hey, they may not be the best option for you. So if you're thinking about shopping around for insurance, or if you are shopping around for insurance, homeowners, auto, renters, whatever it is, make sure you give them a call, 303-838-0554. Thank you for that demonstration there, Jared. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I know, honestly, that wasn't the worst of your transition, so I'll give it to you.
It was pretty smooth. I don't know. Can't be too mad.
Yeah, and to answer that, the live.
So no live post game shows. We don't do a live show after the game. We just do the podcast.
I think there was the one game that we just got. I think the New England game, we just got really excited, and I think you guys jumped on and did a random post game show. But
and how drunk we are and everything.
That plays a huge factor.
Things happen.
Jared, Robert here is excited for you.
Nice.
And even Robert, I mean, he appreciates that. So, it's good to see fans appreciating the work that I do when it comes to those ad placements. So, Jared, now that you're joining here, man, what are your thoughts on all of this Broncos winningness?
So obviously it was a good game. I heard you guys talk a little bit about Drew Lock and his progression, and obviously that's the best game he's ever played as a Bronco in the NFL. So that's obviously really nice, but I think a big part of it is we could give credit to anywhere and everywhere, but I still think that Pat Shurmur haters can kind of start quieting down now, because that was a very well played, well coached offense. He didn't throw for more than 30 times. He didn't have to. We still stuck with some of the runs. We still hit it on the ground, and then the play action is really where he executed, and that really comes down to a lot of that is the coaching. And I think that I don't think he's getting enough credit for the job that was done on that offense.
True. And I like how you said, sticking with the running game. That's been such a point of, emphasis that we've had, at least on the show, for weeks now, right? And the last couple of weeks, we have done a really good job sticking with that. The good news is we're going to have, Philip Lindsay's questionable. But we still have a strong running attack, and we're going to have it for next couple of years at least. Hoping Philip Lindsay comes back. So I think it shows that what we can do when we stick to that running game, right? And I don't see why we would do anything different than we have the last 2 weeks. Yeah. Minus some small variations depending on the team or whatnot. But overall, sticking with that run game is probably the way to go.
Yeah, especially against Buffalo too, which is, that pass defense is really rounding into form on the back end, but their run defense is vulnerable.
It's dead last in the league.
Absolutely.
It's dead last with a grade of 39.1, which is significant. And the Panthers were rated 25th. So we should be able to run that.
And luckily we'll get Bourbon through the rest of the season, because I was mildly concerned about that one. Court date got pushed back, and we'll have him for the rest of the year. So I think that's going to be huge for us, because it did work well. And Philip, which Kev and I talked about right before the game, got pushed outside, and that was huge. There was a couple of them that, up the middle, and I was yelling at the TV, throwing my beer. But it's okay, don't do this again. But, but using him to where he should be on the outside more, it seemed to show up in the last game.
Yeah, but that's a double-edged sword too. The whole, obviously we're going to have him for the rest of this year, but that means he's probably going to be out the first 4 games of next year if he sticks around.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's one of those things.
But at least they'll have time to deal with it, and at least they'll have time to deal with that in the off season, and we still have Royce Freeman as well. So,
right,
kind of who cares?
So Richard's saying Shurmur needs to go, and I think we're all in agreement here at the Orange Weekly anyway. It's not going to happen. You need to have continuity for these young players. And look, he's called a couple good games the last couple go around. So these young players, that would, if we replaced Shurmur, that would be Drew Lock's 3rd offensive coordinator in 3 years. You just can't do that to these guys. So, Richard, I'm sorry. Maybe that's how you feel, and that's fine if that's how you feel, but it ain't going to happen.
I'll agree that he's not the best OC out there. He's got a lot of flaws, and his system is unfortunately predictable. It just is.
Sure.
But ultimately, I think right now the benefits of having that continuity.
But predictable because they need to practice basics, or predictable because that's just the way it works. Because the Broncos need to ultimately, what are we supposed to do straight out of the gun? Just come with these crazy out of the box plays, or just get the fucking basics down, which is kind of what he's doing.
So I think the other thing too is Broncos country is really coming around this whole Pat's the reason we're doing so bad this year. Everybody wants a scapegoat, and I get it. I do understand that. But if you look at the reasoning for it, and I tweeted this the other day, nobody liked it. Thanks, Kevin. But I tweeted this after the game. It's like at first Shermer's not running the ball enough. He's being too aggressive, throwing too often, and then he's running the ball too much, not letting Drew Lock do his thing, not letting him throw the ball and call his plays. And then we finally have a game that's an equal 50-50 split. We have a really good play calls. We have all the play calls. The audible, obviously, while Drew Lock saw it, that's a coach thing. Like, you coach that. You see the press coverage. You call the audible to call the go. That's a coach thing. That's an offensive coordinator thing. So for me, a lot of the, and you know, Richard, you probably have some other reasons why you don't like him.
Well, then he's got a game with no quarterback, and it's like, Wildcat, why is he doing this? Like, what, does he not have a quarterback or something? Fire him. Like, get out of here.
And that's why my background is like, I get it, but like seeing the people that don't like him, and I want to hear it. I want to hear why we don't like him, but hearing it go back and forth every single week is kind of like, come on, guys.
Yeah,
like, if
seriously.
you don't like him, you don't like him, but at least come up with a reason why, and don't be inconsistent with it.
And more legit than just like we're not.
You just liked everything
I just liked all of your tweets from the last month. So there you go, good sir. We did have a question about what our Twitter handles were, and there you go, right down below. You got all of them, but you're welcome, Jared. I gave you 8 likes right there, so
I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm trending now, I think.
Yeah,
and the main one at Orange Weekly, guys. It's
at
pretty
Orange
basic.
Weekly.
And
there it is for Instagram and Twitter.
Absolutely.
So.
And Jared, those things you just described, all of those complaints about Shermer, it seems like to me what you're describing is an offensive coordinator who's working with a quarterback, you know, with no offseason, trying to figure out what he can do, what he can't do in a live game situation, what he's comfortable doing, what he'll do when he shouldn't be doing it. You know, you don't have time to just figure all this out in August. You've got to see what he can do on the field. It's just the way it is this year. So, you know, guys, it's that way. I you know, if it looks this bad, you know, at the beginning of next season, I think we have problems, real problems.
But with Shermer, like, I think he's a great fit for Locke because, like Ayla, you pointed out, like, he's really good on like the basic stuff, like the basic playbooks and the stuff that, you know, every quarterback knows, and he's going to teach it well. I just have never seen him, and I've watched him coach on many different teams. I've never seen him really become innovative as an OC. He kind of sticks with like the stuff that works traditionally, and he rolls with it, which is fine. It'll get you somewhere. It could get you 8 wins in a year, but will it get 12, 13 wins in a year? You know, probably not. However, the continuity, again, outweighs the fact that if you get a new OC, it's like a whole new start, and then we're bitching about Locke.
Well, and then let's say it gets him 8 wins this year. Like, are we going to get any credit for that in like a brand new OC, like with no preseason and you know, a quarterback who hasn't played 2 full seasons? Will we get any credit? And the Bills win. This could be huge this weekend, you guys, because it's not like they've blown anybody out of the water. Like, can we just get back to that? Like, they haven't won by more than 2 touchdowns. You know, this could be the huge win. And like, do we get credit? And then we take the Chargers out, obviously.
Right.
And the fucking Raiders at the end of the year. Like, do we get credit then?
Cody Rourke is in the house, and I completely agree. You know, Shermer has evolved. We've seen him. I think it's him sitting there saying, hey, what we're doing isn't really working. Maybe we need to change things up and find something that does work. And yeah, I think that's shown, especially in the last 3 games. And I think I don't think those were flukes. I think you're going to see that in the next 3 games as well.
I mean, looking just the past 2 games, the KJ Hamler situation. So obviously the week before last, KJ Hamler had a pretty good game. He got the ball in his hands and he was lighting up the field. So they were like, maybe we should try to isolate him one-on-one with either a safety or a corner and try to get him deep. And that's exactly what happened. I think you're right. I think that's exactly what's happening. And like we've all been saying, it just kind of takes some time and some continuity with the players that he has.
Yeah. You know, I just want to see that continuity. That's it. Like, Alex Smith was a player that when he got drafted for 49ers, he had 5 different OCs in 5 years. And look how his career, you know, he got shipped off. And then, like, you know, the rest is history. But nevertheless, that doesn't help anybody. Shermer has evolved the last couple of weeks. I think the most recent win is indicative of that. Like, the offense seems to be opening up. You know, there's more play selection. Like, Drew Lock is way more comfortable. He's doing his best. But again, I wouldn't be sad to see Shermer leave, but I'd rather see him leave like at the end of next season.
Yeah.
You know, not right now. Let's get some continuity. But honestly, these 8 wins, like, listen, I'll put it more to Fangio's defense and the Broncos offense if we get to 8 wins.
Well, yeah.
But like the wins that we've had, like, man, this defense is freaking awesome. They're so much fun to watch. They're impossible to get through in the red zone.
And shout out to Vic
we're beat
Fangio.
up as we are. I mean, this isn't even like our starters, you know? I mean, this is an incredibly beat up.
Scraping
defense,
it
and we're
together.
still doing it.
No
Also,
DBs
shout
anymore.
out. Yeah.
They called me last week.
Yeah.
He's like, Matt, when you just step up, I'm like, yeah. I can't. I'm too fat for that.
And they saw that weight loss. That's what they did.
You're
That's
not,
it.
Matt. That tea is doing miracles. Knock it off.
No, to play DB in the NFL, though, trust me.
You could be the next John Lynch back there. Come on, buddy.
You could be. You could
Get
be.
in there.
And I would
Get
take
those
one
football
hit.
muscles going. Get those football muscles. Let's go hit him.
It'd be over. Against the bro?
I'd pay to see it.
I'd pay to see that too, man. Are you kidding me?
This will be the upset that the NFL talks about, though, because around the league, the Bills seem pretty darn good right now. I mean, so be it they beat the Jets twice from this year, which shouldn't even count, but
Good job.
you know it's on there. And then they have some other wins, but the like 3-point games, like maybe a touchdown, like they.
Well, remember the Cardinals game? They lost because of that Hail Mary to DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so I mean, they essentially won that game. I mean, you know, of course they didn't,
But,
but
you know,
That's why they call it a Hail Mary. It's because you're praying for something to happen. Like,
You know, they only beat the Chargers because of some Anthony Lynn level coaching at the end of that game, combined with Justin Herbert's offensive line pass protecting when he was quarterback sneaking. Which, if you guys haven't seen that clip, that is really something to watch. Go back
Pretty
to
hilarious.
yourself a favor. Look that up.
but Chargers, like,
Yeah, I get it, but it's still wow. That even for Chargers, that was really something to see. But to your point, Ayla, they've been playing a lot of close games. They've shown ability to close these games, but Josh Allen has turned from a bad quarterback with complete dud, to a streaky good quarterback. Like, he's good, but you can't rely on him to always be good. And I think you can rely on a Vic Fangio defense to do what it's done to most young quarterbacks this season and really confuse him, keep him off his toes for at least a quarter and a half, 2 quarters. If the offense can do what it did against Carolina this week,
That's right.
yeah.
because that's the difference with our defense is we take these quarterbacks that are seemingly, you know, pretty okay. And even like Mahomes, like you shake them the fuck up, you stop them in the red zone, and they don't seem so powerful anymore. So
The same game plan against the Bills that we had against the Chiefs, right? Like, Josh Allen is a deep thrower. All right, he likes to bomb it. He focuses on Stephon Diggs with reason. The rest of the players, like, you know, Cole Beasley's a good pass catcher and all that, but nonetheless, like, it's the Stephon Diggs show. So I mean, to limit them to field goals and to just get in his face, I think that's going to be a nice form.
I just like saying the name Beasley. Beasley. Cole Beasley.
You know what name I miss saying is Von Miller. So do you guys think he is going to play this year? Because I don't think so.
I hope not.
He's not practicing yet, and it feels like there's 2 games.
He's only dancing around the field. Like, at least he can walk on both ankles.
Yeah. I don't think so. Yeah.
At this point, it's like the not worth it. The risk reward.
It really isn't. I mean, for fun for the last game, like, that's exactly a situation that has somebody tear another ligament. Like, just,
Right. Yeah.
Now, for the record, we're still not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. So if we
Jared,
do win out,
we needed
and
your
the last
breakdown.
week shows up, I got it. I have it. A new breakdown, and this is completely off the top of that. Actually, so you sent that article, Kev, to me to cheat, and I completely forgot what I did with it. So I just have the standings here.
You mean it's not in the chat that we had? Or
Basic breakdown. Yeah, it's not. I have to scroll up. There's a lot of scrolling happening. So first of all, the Raiders need to go less than 8-8, and we need to beat them. So they can only basically win one more game. We have to beat them at the end of the season, and we have to beat them by more than they beat us, which was by a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be tough. So it would be nice if the Raiders lose out the rest of the season. Dolphins, if they lose out the rest of the season and the Raiders lose out the rest of the season, we can do it as long as the Ravens don't win another game. So that's probably not going to happen. Okay, so take out the Ravens, right? So everybody that's 8-8, they can still make the playoffs. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, six teams right now that are over 8-8 already, and the best we could finish is 8-8. And we get what, 7 teams in the playoffs?
7 teams.
Yep. So basically, Dolphins need to lose out, Raiders need to lose out, and the Ravens need to lose out.
Or the Colts. Well, no, the Colts are already in. So, yep.
Colts are already in because they're 9-4 because they won.
Baltimore plays the Jaguars, the Giants, and the Bengals in their next 3 games. So
the Baltimore is going to win the next 3 games.
There's a chance.
I mean, if he's just pooping all 3 weeks, then we have a chance.
Poop.
Did you see his tweet? He came out and he was like, "You all crazy. I wasn't pooping.
I wasn't pooping."
No,
He didn't pull the Paul Pierce. Right. He did not pull the Paul Pierce. All right.
Anyway,
man, the Bengals, the Jags, and the Giants. Fuck, I wish that was their schedule. Holy.
Right.
Yeah. We've had like one of the hardest schedules of the year. Get out of town. And NFL wanted to do that to us on purpose. It's happened since Super Bowl. Like those little fuckers, they just we haven't had it easy.
Well.
Here you go, Matt. How do you react to this comment? I think there's a lot of things that bug me about Mahomes, but you are the Mahomes fan here, so.
Oh man, I love watching him run and walk. His head just like bobbles. He's like, oh my god, he just looks bored. It's insane.
Now here's a good one. We were talking about this in our group chat, and Jason, our sports athletic trainer expert, all the ACL tears, and it's not just with the Broncos. What the previous high was
the NFL in general.
Yeah,
the previous high was, I believe, 34, and currently the NFL sits at 39
with 3 weeks left.
Yeah, with 3 weeks left,
and no preseason. Yeah,
it's an unfortunate reality of not having the camp and preseason to get your body into shape. It's not like you can just flip on a switch and then you're playing like at full speed, right? You need weeks and weeks for your muscles and ligaments to like get stronger and get used to the speed and all that. So I think it's just an unfortunate casualty, a very unfortunate casualty, because a lot of exceptional players have gone down this year. Notably, I think one that we have missed a lot is Saquon Barkley. He's so much fun to watch week in and week out, and he just, unfortunately tore his ACL, and 38.
He's one of those players that changes that team. Like you can just tell the team is under. I mean, the Panthers too. I mean, the way Christian McCaffrey is another guy. They go out and they just team.
Yeah. Huge. You know who didn't get hurt though? Alvin Kamara, running me to the finals of fantasy. Kevin.
So here's my predicament, and everybody watching me, I want to hear your thoughts. I have the choice of grabbing some quarterback off the waiver wire, haven't really looked yet who's available, or I can start Josh Allen, who has helped me get to the finals, at least this far in the playoffs, against the Broncos.
Kevin, if you play Josh Allen and he has a great game, I'm going to kill you.
That's the thing. When you're going to kill me. 2, our red zone defense is so good that I don't like the idea of playing Josh Allen against the Broncos.
Yeah, we have no DBs left.
Name the starting DBs from the beginning of the season.
Yeah, but our red zone defense and what gets, you're talking about touchdown points there. I don't know. I don't think I have any other better option.
I would just say drop him and don't play quarterback and go out with your losing season because it doesn't matter anyways.
Now, if the Broncos, if the game ends in like a score of 42-40 and we win, then I also win. It's okay. But
you know what, Kev? I would play Josh Allen just because the DB core is like this.
Also, I have no other choices, but yes.
Well, I think the other choices are like Phillip Rivers and Kirk Cousins, which Rivers is playing against Houston Texans, and the Texans defense is about as good as a screen door. So,
right.
It could work out for you, but
yeah.
Which, if it's warm out, you might be okay. Right, because the screen door. God damn it! I tried to make a really funny one. It's not working.
And Josh Allen's playing in Denver, so that ball's going to soar farther on the field, but he's going to be exhausted from the thin air. So
bringing this back down to Broncos country. Speaking of terrible DBs, how about Michael Ojemudia and how well he's been playing down the run these last couple of games, and how much better he's been getting? I really think the fact that we have him, the way we have him. And the fact that we got him this last year is really going to pay dividends to us.
Yeah, not enough credit to that guy. He's been showing up.
He, as a rookie especially, phenomenal, man. Phenomenal.
Yeah,
Like he's
super
really
impressed.
taken his role. Like
David, I think he was on your pick at the beginning of the season when we were talking about guys in our
He is.
depth. Like you was something
Thank you,
that David
David.
always mentioned. So
You're quite right, Ayla. Thank you. Thank you for remembering that. I was going to remember it, but now there's a lot more weight to it when somebody else did.
well, and especially me because what do I remember?
Right. Hey, Jose, nobody won the score prediction, but remember, everyone, the live 3-game show we do about an hour before kickoff or so. If you post your score predictions, you're entered to into the prize drawing that we're going to do at the end of the year. The only caveat is the Broncos have to win for those score predictions to count towards the prize drawing. So we've only had 5 of those games this year. Yeah.
Man, I would've
That's
won,
part of it, because otherwise we're going to have a million entries. So we got to whittle it down somehow. Plus, we're going to have people not pick the Broncos.
Well, and you can have multiple entries every week. You don't even have to believe it. Just say the Broncos are going to win and get entered in the contest. Like, hello.
Hello.
How many other contests let you enter as many times as you want?
Exactly.
I don't know. We don't know.
I have about 50 entries myself.
Still have
Devin Candino has entered a lot.
And Kevin's needs to win a better sweater.
Boom.
How sweaty are you underneath there?
Robert, this is something we can talk about on the offseason there. I am purposely moving on because this sweater is fucking awesome. We could have a Orange Weekly fan
fan
correspondent fantasy league. So we'll see, but we'll see. Yeah, you guys want to keep ripping on those sweater? Okay, that's fine.
How sweaty are you?
All we have to do is pull the thread and it'll rip itself.
Come on, you're really going to do this on a Manning sweater thing here?
Yeah,
right.
I mean, an updated one.
Just because it's Manning.
Come with the times.
It's Manning, you get a pass.
You know what? You don't get any passes for me because you know how to use Peyton Manning as a prop. Good for you. All right.
Hey, Team Puffball, are you abandoning me right now?
Listen, I have other issues when you're not even wearing your Puffball hat, so don't Team Puffball me.
Don't worry, Kev. I support you. I'll send you a visor.
You know what? I think it's time to switch at this point.
Oh, okay. All right. He's your problem now, Jared.
All right. So have we talked? I know I showed you a little bit late. Have we talked about the fact that we have a game on Saturday this week?
No, somebody asked about that earlier, but we haven't got there yet.
And
it's Saturday.
I have to be at work. I'm gonna miss it.
Oh, I'm muffin.
Oh,
yeah, it's garbage. I'll try. I mean, I would never endorse the stealing of the NFL's product on any streaming website. I hope that's very clear. But I may have to find some way to watch it while I'm at work.
Right. Yeah, and you're sober right now.
It's gonna be
live update so hard on my phone at the salon, cutting hair, and I just have my phone by me and just live update all the time. I'd be like, "Wait, we have the ball! Oh wait, look!" I had to every once in a while because I didn't get Sundays off forever.
Well,
so,
Cody, I might have to
go. Good one. Do you have this word, David?
I feel like if I told them Cody Rourke told me to call in sick, they'd be like,
"Don't call Cody out! Don't call Cody out!"
No, I'm not.
They know who Cody is.
They better know who Cody is.
They better not.
100%.
They better not. Yeah, they better know.
Cody Rourke heard you. Okay, then go.
You know what? It's fine. That's in. We're in. Yeah.
Oh, Mr.
And plus it's a Saturday game. You should have, if you have anybody's cable login, you should be able to get it just because.
Yeah.
Which, Jared, we need to talk about that. I need your.
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk. Okay. Anyway,
so we have a Saturday game, a shortened week of practice. We talked about already an injury-plagued offense. You know, Buffalo's got some injuries here and there too, but we are definitely not the not.
I think our
probably
mystery.
the crop of
I think our mystery players, McManus, will he get back in the roster? He was close contact outside of the team and could be here, but make kick a lot. Geez Louise, what happened to your personal bubble?
I mean, and the other thing too on that is if they want to make another statement of the Denver Broncos, it's a really easy one to make too, and we'll see what happens when we get Saturday. But I see a political firestorm with the Goodell issues.
It's not going to be anything like it. We have a quarantine kicker. It's done and done. Give me a break.
No, it's not. It's for the team, no. But as far as on the ownership side and the fact that we don't have anybody really sticking up for us against Goodell. If he wants to be oh wow, you're hanging out with people outside of your bubble, cool, let's do this.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Hey, Jose, I want to address this really quickly because I think this deserves. Okay, all of my Broncos stuff is packed in storage right now until we move into the house in February.
Do you see my holiday lights, you guys?
No.
Yeah.
You come
I
back
put up
next year
holiday
and see
lights.
what my background looks like. It's kind of better.
Look at my
I'm
holiday
working on mine.
lights.
Cody
I
is a
know.
doctor, so there you go, David.
That's true.
100%.
No, I've got a doctor's note now, basically. So it's all good to
Right.
go.
Well, and I'm kind of a doctor because I'm Ayla MD with my
No,
initials.
you're not. That's kind of. No, get out of here with that.
I mean, I'm just as much
I mean,
a
honestly,
doctor as Jason
signed a
is.
note,
So
if you signed a note, Ayla MD, you're not wrong, and
You're
nobody
not
would know the difference.
wrong. I would know
And-
the difference.
right, and it's really sloppy. So
Oh, Jared, are you still in the closet?
Yes, I'm still in the closet. Yeah.
his background's
Yeah.
still better
Not
than
like
y'all's, and he's
physically
in a
in the-
fucking closet.
just-
Like
What am I supposed to do?
I'm setting up my podcast closet. It's getting there. It's getting there.
his
Right.
background's way better than y'all, and he did it in like less than 2 weeks.
You
You
wait.
guys need to get the
You
fuck
wait.
out of here. But
You
thank you
wait.
for the shout out on mine because like
Yeah, Ayla's decked out.
Yeah, Ayla's got it going on.
I mean, Matt's is obviously the worst. Then
Well,
me.
Matt's
Just
just
telling
a,
me.
Yeah, then me. And then Jared and Kevin.
I
I'm
don't know.
probably-
Kevin and David are toss up because
You think
David,
so?
yours
They
isn't
give the
that
same background.
horrible.
All right. Okay.
Kevin is. We can't see where the flag is. Like
Right.
his position could be. There you go. See.
And the problem is in the forefront, I can't get my eyes off this sweater. So
Yeah. And then when you finally stop looking at the sweater, you get his face, which is like,
right.
it's just a mess.
there's
You
a
guys
lot.
complain
happening.
every time I throw something up there, my Mahomes poster, my Falcons flag. It's like there's always a ball.
So
I
I'm
know.
gonna
So
say
he
this.
just goes to like black background.
I'm just gonna say
Black
this.
with the black.
Since we went on this tangent, our viewership has dropped like in half. So maybe I
All
love
right,
this
back to
conversation.
back to football.
I love this
back to
conversation, but I think it's time we start talking about what to expect for this Bills game
Well, who's going to
because
start at DB? Like let's be real about it. Who's actually going to start at corner this game? Because
It's
Duke
gonna be-
so Ojibudi is going to start number one,
And
probably.
Bosby.
And
Bosby.
Yeah.
He's going to
and
be
then Will Parks is going to be the starting slot.
Yep.
Will Parks. True.
Will Parks at
Good.
nickel.
Glad to have that guy back. Like immaculate timing.
I mean, and Philly. I mean, I like the guy. He's from Philly. He went to Philly to kind of be from it with his home team and kind of play that. But they were trying to play him at safety, which is what he's listed as. And but last year he played the best for us at slot corner. Obviously, with the pickup of Bryce Callahan and him being healthy this year up until recently, we didn't really need him, so we traded him off. I'm glad we got him back because he's playing very well at that slot corner. The last game, he played very well in that slot corner position.
It might be like a 3 safety role here. You might have like Kareem Jackson and Justin Simmons and Will Parks just like strong side, weak side. Like whoever has to go down goes down, and the other two can like play on.
We'll
Well,
see
the
some
best part
Trey
about it
Marshall.
is like Kareem Jackson is kind of that linebacker safety hybrid, and then Will Parks is that like corner safety hybrid, which is really good. And then we have a true free safety in Justin Simmons. I think that combination kind of works out for us, and that's kind of how the rotation is going to work. I think
I think that,
until one of them, hopefully not, but until one of them gets hurt, and then we're going to be like, anybody that's bagging groceries at Subway or Safeway
why
want to
would
come?
you say that?
I mean, it's, at this rate, we're going to lose all three of them to an ACL tear. We're going to lose one ACL for the rest of the season at this rate. It's just all right. Knock on wood. Give me a break.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Why are you saying these things?
Listen.
have an aneurysm.
Yeah. Kevin.
I know Kevin's about to spout out.
Yeah. It's all right. Yeah. Have you ever seen a Smurf get mad?
Hey,
yeah.
Team Heiser, okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got another one.
Well, they're gonna just have to focus on containing Diggs, and that's gonna be a huge part of it. It's like who is going to handle that maniac on the field, and do they just trade between it, or do they double it? I don't know.
I think it's going to be.
But they're going to have to contain him because if we don't, it's going to go back to what the Chiefs can do, and they're taking their star player and not making it happen. So these guys who, with not a lot of experience, will have to handle him.
The scheme's going to work in the favor, though, because that cover form, it's like you don't have to have one guy cover Diggs, right? It's like he's going to run into somebody's zone, and then it's just like Haley said, somebody's going to have to pass him off and be very alert when Diggs is in the zone and not Cole Beasley or Gabriel Davis, who's also a rookie and doing very well. Beasley. But, I mean, they don't have any tight ends.
Well, and I'll tell you something.
Knox is like, I'm sure we can
Yeah.
take care of him. And the running backs are, Singletary's he shines, and Zach Moss has had his moments, but we got to contain Stephon Diggs. That's the big thing. We can't let him beat us. Like, let him beat us with the other, ragtag crew, but like, can't be with Diggs. That's a sin.
Well, and let's play really cleanly, which we can give credit to our whole team because we're one of the lowest penalties of, I think it was like 5th in the whole league of penalties overall. And so that is like a huge thing to me is no free yards on either side of the field. Because when you give it away, you give it away. But so that'll come into play big time this weekend.
I mean, that's a huge difference from last year too, especially on the offensive side. You saw a lot of our offensive drives get stalled by holding calls or offsides or
thanks, Bulls.
False start. Yeah, so there's a lot of times like we would start a drive on our own 15-yard line because of a false start, and it's like now all of a sudden we're like fighting from behind, and there's no way to get the run game.
Killing yourself.
That's a big difference, and I think that I've seen this year. I think
minimal
the
PIs, which will take it down the field without you doing anything. They're very minimal.
Right. I think the biggest thing this week I'm looking forward is we talked about Drew Lock at the beginning of the episode, and I think we're coming kind of full force here is how well he comes back from that same great game that he played against a much more formidable defense.
Right. Yeah. No. How do you handle yourself? Because we did talk about both Drew Lock and about the Bills secondary a little bit earlier, and that secondary is nothing like Carolina's as far as talent level.
They're actually good.
Yeah. So
it's going to be a different ball game, and that's a practice game. We kind of got a practice game, but now this is real game.
So I mean, the Bills coverage grades, they're ranked number 18th in coverage.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're the number 3 defense in the league like we are. But I get what you're saying. I do.
And I think it's also a defense, like I said earlier, it's a defense that's been coming together lately that was not playing well in either phase in the early part of the season, but they've gotten a lot better on the pass defense side.
The Bills also have the number 3 defense in terms of pass rushing. So that coverage might not be there, but the pass rushing there. And, the run defense is abysmal. I think they're dead last. Yeah, they're dead last in the league. So I think our opportunities aren't to target Tre'Davious White and these other, like, good DBs, but it's just to run it down their throat. Like, force the D-line and the linebackers to finish the game. I don't see us passing all over. I don't see Locke getting 4 touchdowns on this team. But I could see both Gordon and Lindsey, hopefully he plays, get at least a touchdown.
I think they did a better job being a little bit less predictable last game as far as their play calling went and what was going to happen, because it seems like when Phillip goes in, we kind of guess what was going to happen. And when Gordon comes in, we could guess what was going to happen. And I didn't see that as much last game, which might have counted for the 4 touchdowns. I mean, but gosh, our special teams, how nice was that? That was sweet out of a season where our special teams fucking sucks. And then, he runs it back. When was the last time that happened? Somebody said 2015.
5 years ago. Yeah.
Yes,
it's the third one of the season or something like that. I don't know. Something crazy.
Yeah. And shout out to Deontay Spencer with the wheels. He's a former CFL player for the Ottawa Red Blacks.
What's that?
We haven't had him for a while either. Wasn't he out on COVID for a couple weeks? So
yeah, he was out for a couple weeks. So yeah, he shout out to him. That was his first NFL touchdown. So that was amazing to see. And he put on the burners once he got into open field. So that was really cool to see.
I know he didn't Melvin Gordon out, and just kidding.
So Daniel, to answer your question really quick, yes, Garrett Bowles and Noah Fant should both be back. It sounded like possibly food poisoning or something.
As long as their bungholes can hold up.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, here you go, Ayla. This one's for you.
Yes, pick 6. Give it to me. I've been asking for this shit all season. This is all I say in the pregame. It's just like, we're due for pick 6. We're due for pick 6. And we are fucking due for pick 6. These guys, Shelby can bat it down. They'll go get it. Like, make it happen. Like, get it, guys. Defense, you're too good. I don't think so. We're so overdue. We're
No.
way overdue statistic wise.
Yeah, no scores on defense.
There were some nice pick sixes happening there. I remember Keep the Lead taking back a few to the house, man. That was fun.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Bring
Like,
that guy back out of retirement, man. Get him on the field.
I love me. Hey, come rip some chains off. Get the fuck out here.
Oh,
I don't know. I feel like he's having too much fun.
Probably.
Yeah.
I probably would too. So I don't.
Yeah, right. Exactly. All right. What are our final thoughts as we roll into the Bills game, guys? What do you think?
Well,
Keep it up,
David. If you need some way to watch the game, Jose's got you.
I appreciate you, Jose.
Oh, we also got Cody Rourke, the real MD, giving you a pass there.
That's right.
But seriously though, yeah, I can't remember who said it just a minute ago, but yeah, this could be. Here you go, Brett. Yeah, this could be and it's another trap game. Look, we're the team right now that is, I guess, the definition of what you would find yourself in a trap game, right? We've been looking really good. We don't need to go out there and do anything super fancy. Like we found something that has been working the last couple weeks. Just stick with it. And so that's what I expect you to see is you're going to try to keep Josh Allen off the field. You're going to use Melvin Gordon, Phillip Lindsay, just run the ball. You're going to do those short passes, utilize your tight ends, which we really saw this last week, right? And then trust, spread the ball around KJ Hamler, Tim Patrick. Yeah, go for Jerry Jeudy some more. So my point here is we're just going to do the same thing we have been doing, and it's going to keep us in the game. I can't see why it wouldn't.
Yeah. It's if we see more of Drew Lock being good this week, I think we're going to see it because he's not trying to do too much. He's not trying to stretch the field. I think especially in this game, trying to stretch the field too much in the wrong situations you're going to pay for that. But we have a blueprint for success in this game. We know we can run the ball. We have a strong offense in that regard when we want to. Hopefully the offensive line, like we're saying, Garrett Bowles and Noah Fant should be good to go. And we can get that aspect of our offense really rolling, and we won't have to rely on heroics. We won't be down 10, 17 points going into the half. Because even with our lack of DBs, I think we can get a pass rush going that can fluster Josh Allen if we can keep our rush lanes maintained. If we don't let him get through a gap, if we do that, he'll make us pay. But if you keep your pass rush lanes disciplined and you keep him in the pocket, you have a really good chance of having success against these Bills, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good game. I just think, the Bills came out and they beat the Steelers last week, which is impressive because the Steelers have the number one defense in the league, and the Steelers have a very dynamic offense, and the Steelers are on a heck of a roll, and they brought it to them. I think the Broncos can absolutely compete in this game. I think that they can, push the Bills up to that limit. I just think that, the Bills are a playoff team for a reason, and it's going to be a really hard.
Well, and I think they could be a little bit overconfident from beating the Steelers because we hung in there with them, and I think that could definitely come into play for us. They could underestimate us. We're not the same as we were at the beginning of the season. And our defense is going to do what our defense does no matter what, even, digging to the depths of whatever it has to, because that's just the way this year has gone. But our offense is starting to gel, and it seems like as long as they can keep it up, and I'll mention this again, just play safe and play penalty free, no interceptions. Drew, gave him the biggest props for the last game because it didn't even seem like a factor. So if we can do that, I think we have a big chance, because if we have it within 3 points, this could absolutely be our big upset for the year and have the NFL give us more credit than we've been given, because we are a great team. We just, maybe our record doesn't show up, but we've hung in there, and this could be the win.
Yep. So question here. Yeah. John, that critical Broncos fan, if you don't follow him on Facebook, that critical Broncos fan, make sure you follow him. This could be another situation like we saw last year with Locke versus Watson. What do you think? In your closing thoughts.
I think it's going to be more of a running game from the Broncos, to be honest. I don't necessarily see Locke passing it to that degree, but I mean, we never know what could happen. I kind of see it like, hey, listen, if we can keep it to 3 and always keep that margin, by 3 the entire game, there's a great chance to just punch it in at the end. Wouldn't it suck if we're like losing by 2 and then our backup kicker misses the kick?
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Matt, that would suck. Absolutely, that would
Matt.
suck. No, that would be okay because he's a backup kicker. It would fucking suck, dude. Like, yeah.
I think in general, so the way I'm looking at this game is, so last year or earlier this year, we came off of a big win against New England. We got really cocky on offense and we were like, oh yeah, it was a huge win. And then we came out and got smoked by the Kansas City Chiefs. 2 interceptions by Drew Lock. He threw 40 times, which is a Pat Shurmur no-no. And obviously part of that is because we were playing down towards the end of the game, but we can't do that. We can't come off of a big win like this and then go in there and just completely abandon everything that made us win the game before, which is sticking to the ground game and getting up and controlling the clock. Really, we're clock control offense right now. I mean, obviously we've been talking about it for probably all season. Is we have a chance to be a quick score offense. We have a chance to be a very, very good offense. But right now we are a clock control offense that needs to be able to keep the ball.
Right.
Absolutely. And I think that's the best way to beat the Bills. Like, if, again, keep it out of Stephon Diggs' hand and just manage the clock and keep Josh Allen on the bench, I think it's going to get us there. And why did I have to say that? That's what you guys pay me. You pay me to say the things that none of y'all want to say.
Who's paying you?
Haven't seen a check, man. It's been 3.5 years. No money.
It's because we can't write checks in Canadian money, Matt.
That's true. It's not even real money. It's like Monopoly money. It doesn't.
It's getting stopped at the border.
Here's a million loonies and toonies. You're welcome. Love O-Dub Weekly.
Hey, don't worry about it, okay?
Oh, weekly. What?
No.
All right.
That's
why we don't pay you.
We won't get him a sack.
It's a currency thing.
We'll just get him some sacks of coins, and that'll be fine.
In socks, so we can hit you with them.
Yeah, we're gonna hit you. We're gonna hit you with socks.
You guys are aggressive, man.
Okay, guys.
Coin
Everyone gave their closing thoughts. Everyone, we went around the horn. We're good.
Right. I totally agree with Jared. Don't be overconfident.
Well, I
Don't
can
be
too. Team
cocky.
Visor. I could agree with him.
I know. I would, but it's too cold for me. But seriously, don't be overconfident. Let's keep chipping away at it. Let's make the third downs manageable. Let's play clean football. No interceptions. Keep the defense off the field for too much of it, and get the biggest upset of the NFL. This would be huge.
It'd be awesome.
No, Kevin,
What?
What?
Oh, that I didn't. Oh, sorry. That was. I didn't mean to put that up there.
That's fine. It's fine.
I didn't know we had to pick sides.
It's fine.
Of course, yes.
You don't have to. You can,
I'm not making anybody
on
pick
anybody.
anything. No,
I'm not making anybody pick sides. I'm just saying.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Okay, hey guys, really quickly. Once again, thanks to our sponsor, Centennial State Insurance Agency. Check them out if you're looking for shopping around for a quote or anything like that. You definitely won't regret it. 303-838-0554. Remember, we have a ton of content for you guys: post-game podcast, pre-game podcast, the Ragers podcast. You can follow him on Twitter at OW Ragers if you want to learn about sports betting or see what he's thinking about the game. Kind of another pre-game type of show. Plus, what's the record, Jared? What do you guys have this year?
Oh, hold on. Let me pull it up. You guys, you keep going. I'll say it on mine.
Fantastic. So, yeah, he'll pull up the record. They're winning money, bottom line. We got the Monday Night Orange Weekly After Dark. We got this show Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Bourbon Broncos No BS. We got our pregame show, our halftime show. We are the original live halftime show. If you see anybody else doing that, call them cheaters and copycats because they didn't do it first. Like for 5 years. But yeah, so we got a ton of content for you guys. BroncosOrangeWeekly.com for the latest podcast, latest episode, live show, and articles. Fantastic stuff, guys. So Jared, what you got?
29, 18, and 3.
So you're making a good amount of money.
Winning pretty good money. And honest, and I want to say this because I want to throw it out there how mad I was. The only reason we lost one of our big bets last week was Philip Lindsay's yards. He had it by 2 yards until the last rush of the game where he lost 4 yards. So we lost that literally where we were trying to run out the clock at the end of the game. He lost 4 yards and we were watching it just like, please, no. And then obviously by the time we got the ball back, all we had to do was kneel. There was no need to give him the ball. But yeah, no, I mean, we're doing pretty well. Make sure you guys follow Ragers. And
at Saturdays, they do their thing, you guys.
I'm telling you.
It's like the perfect time to get in on it because it's like right before it's all going to happen. This week, are you doing it early but there's football games early?
Yeah, so as soon as the lines come out, we're going to record and post them as soon as the lines come out. So sometimes
since Broncos play on Saturday,
probably going to put it out on Friday. It depends too. If there's COVID concerns, sometimes lines don't come out. If there's COVID concern for any of the major players, they don't even put out any like passing yards or receptions or anything, even if one person's out. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, but as soon as lines come out, we'll be putting that out.
David, don't blame that on your fantasy team.
Hey, listen, my fantasy team just won our toilet bowl of the season. Last place versus last place.
Not yet.
And not yet.
Did you beat my husband or?
Yes, I did beat your husband. It was beautiful. I had 2 players on the bench accidentally, and I still beat him. And I'm
You're
taking
welcome
that.
for adding it to our.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, he beat me the first time, so yeah. So I'm not giving you too much credit.
Julio Jones this week?
What's
And you
that?
still won?
Yes.
Wow.
Mom.
Hey, Mama.
What's up, Jared's mom?
Kevin.
God,
All right. All right, guys. Any final thoughts before we end this one? Boys
Yeah,
and
no,
boys and girls?
Like I said, make sure you follow us. John, completely agree. We definitely need some insurance, and hopefully they contact Centennial State Insurance Agency. But otherwise, seriously, you're all fantastic. Thanks for watching. We have the greatest fans from any other Bronco show out there. And all of you co-hosts and everything, you're all awesome too. So I think there's only one thing left to say.
Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Go
Take care.
Broncos.
Go Team Visor.
Do what I like, yeah, I do what I like, yeah, I do what I like. Sipping goose, sip is right, and I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, cause I know I'm the show. In the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, yeah, they know I'm a pro.